Thank you all for coming. I hope you had a nice breakfast and a nice first presentation already. So my name is Majon van Grunsven. I'm the Artistic Director for OVO at Cirque du Soleil. And I was asked to come and talk today about creativity and innovation. In the hopes that it will inspire especially the young entrepreneurs and that I can give them a memento that they can fall back on one day, perhaps, when they are facing a moment where they're not sure of what to do with their business or with their project. Creativity and innovation has always been a big part of my personal and professional journey. So let's talk about creativity and innovation for young entrepreneurs. It is impossible to do without it. One cannot do without the other, and creativity always comes before innovation. So I went and researched creativity. And I'm clicking the button, and it's not doing anything. So just stand by, everybody. Technology. Anybody? Creativity. I'm just going to pause until someone will come and help me with the technical problem we have. I will click again. No, it doesn't work. Is it possible that this one doesn't work? Someone? It's not working. Oh, it's working. Yay. Okay, so when you look up creativity in the dictionary, you will actually see that it means or could mean the use of the imagination or original ideas, especially in the production of an artistic work or the start of a business. That brought me to think about what is the link between personal creativity and professional creativity. The answer that you could find is innovation. And then I thought, well, what is the difference between creativity and innovation? How do we make a link between personal creativity, professional creativity, and innovation? So then, of course, I needed to do a little bit more research and found the difference between the two words. Creativity is subjective. It is personal and it's not measurable. It is about dreams and inspiration. It's about fantasy and imagining. Whereas innovation is absolutely measurable. It's about introducing change into relatively stable systems. It's about doing. And then I thought, okay, so we must first dream, and then we must do. Could it really be as simple as that? Dream the unimaginable. And when you dream, dream really big. And remember Walt Disney's words, when you can dream it, you can do it. So I spoke of personal creativity and professional creativity, and I'd like to share a little bit of my own journey of my personal creativity with you. As a young dancer and choreographer and Pilates instructor, I created this dream for myself where I really wanted to touch the hearts and souls of people. I wanted to give them something that they would never forget. I wanted to give them what I called a memento, and to create a space in which people could create products that could touch the hearts and souls of people. Having danced and studied at a studio called Dance Space in New York City, I found just such a space there, with brilliant teachers, choreographers that encouraged all new young artists, entrepreneurs to follow their dreams and to believe in their dreams. It was such an inspiring place to be that I knew for sure that one day I wanted to create a space like that in Europe, where I'm from, which I didn't tell you yet. So I started to imagine this space, and I started to talk about it with all these professionals and colleagues and friends and family, and they continued to tell me, you have to go for it. You can do this. You can create a space like that. So as I was embarking upon that journey, my eyes and ears wide open, must have been 1995, and I was working on a production with my own dance company called Memento Dance Company, as Cirque du Soleil visited town. And I saw the show. I saw Alegria. And I was overwhelmed by the magic of what was being presented. I was overwhelmed by looking at the audience and seeing how they were touched in their hearts and souls. Everything that came together, dance, acrobatics, music, set design, lighting design, was just so powerfully put together that I thought, okay, if I want to do that, if I want to follow my first dream, then maybe I should learn from a company like Cirque du Soleil. So a second dream was born. And I wanted to work with Cirque du Soleil one day, just so that they could teach me how they did it. And a few years later, many years later, I can tell you that it happened. And I truly believe that it happened because I believed in my dream. I fully believed and found my own innovative ways to take the steps to go and create a space like this. In 2004, I opened my studio in the Netherlands. And in 2007, I was appointed artistic director for Cirque du Soleil's show Delirium, and then continued working on OVO, and then QUIDAM, and now OVO again. So I feel very blessed to have believed in my dreams and to have listened to my colleagues and friends. For the technicians behind the desk back there, I see that this video is already in the middle of it. I don't know if you can reset it to the beginning. I wanted to show you some old footage of Cirque du Soleil when they started 33 years ago with a dream and an imagination, with 5 stilt walkers that had a dream to go and touch the hearts and souls of people. And that's 33 years ago, and today they are one of the most successful companies in the world. I'm going to press play, regardless of the fact that it's in the middle of a video. Very old images. If we look at shows of today, which we might have a glimpse later, you will see that technology has come in and changed so many things for Cirque du Soleil. But I wanted to continue to talk about how inspiration provokes creativity with a special message to young entrepreneurs. We all want to be inspired, as we know that inspiration brings creativity. So it is your responsibility as a leader to inspire your teams, your artists, or the people that work with you and your staff. If you can inspire them and jump on board with you and follow your dream, they will, in return, through their creativity, come up with ideas to achieve your goal, which then we could say is to be innovative. So it really starts with your dream and your vision. It will have a massive impact on your business. What inspires us? As I said, dreams, people, senses, which is very true, visual, touch, audio, and even smell. Little example, sometimes you'll smell something so good that you just want to cook it. It inspires you to do so. It's just a small example. But, of course, this could be translated into big business talk. Stories, and an understanding of what touches your audience and your customers that will make us inspire them. To tell you a little bit of the story that inspired me, I had an aunt that at 19 years old was working, or fighting, I should say, in the Second World War resistance in the Netherlands. And as I grew up, she would tell me stories of how she would risk the life of her family and her own life in order to save the lives of others. It so much inspired me, her strength and her determination, that I wanted to tell her story to the people in New York City with my first production called Memento. And it's not easy. It requires a lot of work, a lot of hard work and determination, because up until now I've talked a lot about dreams and imagining, but of course we have to very much set out a clear goal, a clear direction. That's the first step. And if you can get your people to join you there, then you have people to help you get there. I'll show you a small video footage of a moment in my journey with Memento Dance Company. Now, you all have eyes. Also, when you're hanging upside down, you can just move the skirt aside if you don't see anything. Okay? Right. But let me just finish what I want to say. I love the discussions. But I think it's better for me because I do it always as well. So wear your arms, because I want you now, I'm going to change choreography. I want you to hold your leg. You will not see it because you have a big costume on. I want it all together. I want it to be like touching all together. I don't know how, you have to look through Francesca. I need much more from you. Even though you're a guy, you can still lift up. Right? So I'm not saying it just for you. Let the hand hang. No, well you can leave, but it's a little, it's vertical and then it's over. Ja, die is heel belangrijk hoor. Ja, heel belangrijk. Stop. Want, Jurgen en de andere, can you please lift up, vertically up and out of the waist, up, up, up. I don't see that. Walk, lift, lift. This is what I mean. Stop, go back. See what I'm seeing is this. Extra hoor, nee, dat kan echt niet. Kom. Lift, up, 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 up. Good, and fall. Het licht is uit, jullie komen op het toneel. Ik vind zoals jullie het nu hebben gedaan, vond ik het helemaal goed. Alleen ik vind het wel heel fijn als je doet wat je moet doen. It's funny to see that back. It's been a long time, actually, that video. But it's just to show that from my own journey, I had to be very clear, and I had people that wanted to be clear with me. And so what generated this creativity also was a certain sense of confidence. The ability to question without fear. Often we find ourselves not sure if we can ask a question because we may be judged by others. It may look like we're insecure, but it's very important to ask questions. To observe, so that you can see problems and so that you can get ideas. Humility, knowing that you don't always know everything as a leader. It's okay to not know something. Mindfulness, thinking on how to think. Curiosity, exploring and experimenting. Resourcefulness, something to tinker with. Energy, to explore and tinker. And action, not just thinking, but doing. And here we go, we end up at the innovation part again. Having talked about my own personal journey here and sharing that with you, I also would like to share a video of Cirque du Soleil, quite recent video, on how they view creative processes. And I was very happy to see that it's very similar to what my dream was. I'm very, very proud and honored to be working with them.
C'est vraiment au tout début une idée, une intention. Qu'est-ce qu'on veut dire? On a-tu un message social qu'on veut partager avec le public? Et de là, de cette idée, on part et on s'inspire avec le metteur en scène avec des concepteurs en lumière, en scénographie, costumes, acrobatie et tout. On se ramasse à une table de création à discuter d'un spectacle. On part très, très large. Au tout début, tout est possible. Une idée incroyable qui est impossible à faire, elle peut nous amener à le faire d'une autre façon. Il faut qu'il y ait cette ouverture-là pour pouvoir, après ça, cibler ce qui est faisable, après ça, ce qu'on est capable de faire et tout. Les choix vont se faire automatiquement. Dans notre salle de création, on se fait ce qu'on appelle, nous, un mur de création. Vraiment, ça va être les images d'inspiration, nos départs, qu'on ait le même focus, la même vision, je dirais, que le metteur en scène pour faire le spectacle. Plus que la création continue, qu'il y a plus de personnes qui embarquent. Et là, c'est vraiment une question de communication et bien gérer les équipes. C'est sûr qu'à travers la création, puis surtout quand on arrive vers la livraison du spectacle, c'est beaucoup d'heures, c'est des équipes qui peuvent devenir fatiguées. Nous-mêmes, on est fatigués, le stress est de plus en plus intense. Et vraiment, là, c'est de se mettre épaule à épaule, à faire ça ensemble et à arriver au même but. Il y a des beaux moments qui se produisent aussi quand tu vois des idées qui ont été déposées, qu'on a trouvé un numéro ou une image ou un tableau. Tout ça se prend forme. C'est vraiment une naissance de quelque chose. Là, tu dis, ah, OK, je me suis battue ou ça a été difficile, mais regarde ce que ça fait quand tu vois le produit, la première d'un spectacle.
And what we talk about a lot at Cirque du Soleil is to stay connected to your inner child. Children dream without questioning it, and often they believe into their dreams. I think, and I truly believe, that it is very important to allow yourself always to dream like that child that you have inside yourself. Ask questions. Allow innocence. Dare to dream big. I can't repeat it enough. And use your imagination. And then simply close your eyes and see. You will see what it is that you need to do and believe that anything is possible. 2 more little videos for inspiration. One of our own little creation we had on OVO recently, an act called SOLEIL, which is an aerial hoop that we needed to create in a very, very short period of time. And another one is a trailer of the show that I'm currently working on since the past 7 years. So here we go.
Brings all kinds of possibilities, and the scary part usually is to start. But once you start, the flow will basically just take you where it is that you need to go. In this particular case, we created a new act for one of our Cirque du Soleil shows, and it became this wonderful experience working together with the team, the staff, the artists, the technicians. And it became a wonderful success to see the piece come to the stage. Of course, it's hard to believe that we always get to the right direction. But if we don't start, nothing will happen. So all we need to try and do is trust and work together and dare to dream and go for it.
And the important message there, which I don't know if you could hear it, was to never not start. Because if you don't start, nothing will happen, obviously. And I've seen so many times that we did start and that everything just comes together, you know, because we listen to each other, we talk to each other, we learn from our mistakes, we go back, we go forward. So really important is to trust and to I just saw my presentation go away. And to just do it. I had one more video to show. I don't know if we can get it back. It's fun. I have 16 seconds. 14, 13. Oh, there you go. Good. Thank you very much. So this is the trailer of my show, OVO. Oops, excuse me, we're going there. And we are. Yay. So there we go. Creativity and innovation, one that cannot do without the other. Creativity that always comes before innovation, but it starts with your dream, your imagination, and with that dream, your inspiration for your teams. I hope this was inspiring for you. Thank you very much. Hi. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi. Hi, thank you for your amazing presentation.
Thank you.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Min, so I'm working at 5 Startups, venture capital in Silicon Valley, but I'm working for Career Fund. So, I'm very honored to have you here, and then it's an amazing presentation.
Very honored to be here. Thank you.
Because we have a common denominator. Because I studied in drama and theater arts, and also she has a background of a dancer and creating new companies for her journey. So I think that the Circular SOLEIL is a perfect case of the representing innovation and creativity. But one of the successful elements of a circle is delivering core messages related to human relations, not only about technology. So can you explain more about core messages which Circular SOLEIL interests you to be delivered to the audience? It means what kind of message is interesting to be delivered as you have worked many years in Circular SOLEIL?
Absolutely, with pleasure. Well, as I was saying in the presentation, the initial goal for Cirque du Soleil was to go out there and touch the hearts and souls of people. And in order to be able to touch people's hearts, you have to understand people, right? So you have to get to know them and get to understand what touches them, what does not touch them. So there are a couple of examples. For example, Delirium, the first show that I worked on, was the first arena show that Cirque du Soleil had ever produced. It was a multimedia show, which was also the first time Cirque or any big company had done such a thing. We had a very big stage, and on each side of the stage there was an IMAX video film movie screen, as big as in an IMAX theater. And so we had a lot of projections projected onto that screen. The message of that show, it was about a man that was floating, above the story of Delirium and kind of got lost into the technology and kind of lost because he was up above, he had no connection with the people on the ground. Mm-hmm. That was the message there. And I think it was very ahead of its time, but it was difficult for Cirque to actually achieve that message for people to really understand it, because the people were so much watching all the multimedia projections that the story got a little lost. But that was a message that actually then in the end worked. It's like if we get blinded by all the technology, it's very dangerous to lose the connection with each other. OVO is a show inspired by insects. It's not really about insects. There's nothing scientific about it. It's about a ladybug that falls in love with a fly. So for us there, the message is about acceptance, perhaps. It's very strange. It's a fantasy story. But if you look at the deeper meaning, there's two there. One is about acceptance. We don't look at color or gender or race or sex, but it's just about feeling the connection. And the other one is to preserve our earth and to be maybe a little bit more mindful of insects. So those are just two examples, But what's really important for people to understand that Cirque du Soleil is creating these shows and has these messages perhaps as an inspiration. But when you go to any theater performance, the audience needs to be allowed to fill in themselves what they see, what it means for them. It doesn't necessarily need to be the way it was scripted. That's what's the beauty about theater, I think.
How about QUIDAM? QUIDAM is the oldest show
Oh,
in Cirque du Soleil for
QUIDAM.
32 years, right?
20 years.
20 years.
Yes.
QUIDAM, can you explain about
Yes,
this
I was in fact in Seoul with QUIDAM last year for 2 months. It's one of the most classic and iconic shows that Cirque has ever created. And it's about a little girl actually that loses connection again with her parents. And she creates this imaginary world where she feels that she can be herself, where she feels that she can share, where she feels that she can connect. So one day, this figure called QUIDAM, which is a headless man, comes by and picks her up and takes her into that imaginary world that she created for herself. So that show, but it's so absolutely beautiful. The music is so touching. The images, the tableaus are just so classic and literally just go straight to your heart. It's a beautiful, beautiful show.
How you guys decide like the messages coming from you? You mentioned a lot of time in your presentations, like the message is coming from you. Do you have any like a specific like a workshop or just like a kind of the exercise yourself in an artistic way?
For myself?
Your staff and the Cirque du Soleil as well. Yeah.
For my staff
Yeah.
as well? Well, the message I think that's important is that we stay real, that we don't go on automatic pilot. So at Cirque du Soleil, we have to perform our shows up to 10 times a week, all year long.
Wow.
So it's very difficult for the artists to do that as if it was their first time that they did it. So how do we get them to do it like that? It's by a lot, again, it's a lot of talking, it's a lot of exchanging, it's a lot of listening, it's a lot of asking me as a leader or as their director. I will ask an artist, and I will take the artist aside and go, what do you feel in this moment in the show? Are you connected to the story of the show, or are you just thinking about your acrobatic that you have to do in a few minutes? And when the answer is, I'm just thinking about my act, then I'm like, okay, well, we have to talk. We have to really go back to what is it that we do and why do we do it? That's one example.
So, because like, I'm curious about the like integrity of, because like Cirque du Soleil is like when you, I don't know you guys watch or not, but when you watch it, it's got the mesmerize a lot of technology and choreography and also story and a lot of things. How you guys cope with working with those like elements that you guys have?
How do we balance it?
Yeah.
Well, through trial and error, I would say. I think Delirium was teaching us a lot of things. It also taught us a lot of things about marketing, for example. Cirque du Soleil had a name, or has a name, and people that do know it, they have a certain expectation. So when you come with something new, like Delirium, it's very important that as a marketing, you explain it to the audience so that they don't expect to see something that it's not going to be. So with that show, we learned that we had to do better on the marketing level, let's say.
That's interesting.
Yes, so it's very interesting. And it's constantly like that. We constantly evolve. The industry is constantly evolving. Cirque has been around for 33 years, but by no means do they think that they know everything. That's what I was saying in the presentation too. It's okay to not know something. That's I think their strength, is that they want to explore, they want to research, they want to invite different people to talk to them, to learn from them, and they want to constantly get better.
Inspiration.
But they make mistakes. If it's not well balanced, they go, oh, that actually didn't work so well, so next time we have to do it like this. It's like that.
So as your like artistic journey, and then what your like messages to young entrepreneurs?
Well, I think I said it about 10 times in my presentation, is to really believe in your dreams and to find your own innovative ways together with your teams, or if you're an entrepreneur that works alone, to really go out and try things and to make it happen. Talk to the right people, talk a lot to people, write it down, exchange. We have social media nowadays, so you can really do a blog, you can ask questions and say, well, this is what I'd like to do, what do you think? It's a lot of that, and then you just have to start. Even if you feel that you're not ready,
I think that's really
you just have to
point.
Start.
Yeah. A lot of the people hesitant, like they're starting a new company, like brave to start. So this is my kind of last question. So, because that challenges, because like, as you mentioned that before, Cirque du Soleil has been done many, many things. Also you as well, kind of sometimes feel like I'm burnt out. are kind of running up everything, my energy, what's new, what's the creativity. Sometimes you doubt about the term of creativity. So how you like kind of reinforce yourself, also like refresh yourself to get re-inspired.
I think it's different for every individual, but for me there's a few ways. Either I go and I watch a show that's not created by Cirque du Soleil, I go watch something else. Or I just become very quiet. I go to a space where I can just be really quiet and turn everything around me off. And sometimes I only have an hour of time to do that. But sometimes I have a few days. And I think to create space within yourself, within your system, it's kind of like meditation. You will get re-energized again. So, but for me, what mostly helps is like this. For example, this convention, I'm here, I'm seeing people that I've never seen before, I'm hearing people that I've never heard before. It's inspiring. It's how we can touch each other and therefore, again, human interaction with people that you've never normally see is invigorating and energizing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is there any questions from audience side? Oh, one here. Yay. Normally Korean audience.
Great.
Never asked.
It's okay. So is somebody going to go?
Somebody here to the question.
I think he wants a microphone.
You can shout. 그냥 막 이렇게 소리쳐도 돼요. Oh, I think we need mic. Sorry.
Oh, there it comes.
감사합니다.
Thank you for your attractive energy and inspiring speech. You sure have a sense of arousing people's emotion, I think. But may I ask you that how do you feel confidence in your work? Like what you do is always creative and innovative. How do you feel this is the right thing?
How do you know?
Yeah. How do you know it's the right thing, and how do you keep yourself like holding
you know,
yourself?
it's interesting. It's a very good question because sometimes you don't know. I have had experiences that while I would start a project, and as I was saying to Kim, by exchanging and talking about the project, the responses that I would get were so great that I knew inside my stomach, oh, this is going to be good. You can just feel it. When you don't feel it, it's those moments where you go, ooh, I'm not sure, but I'm still going to try. And you will see in your experiences that sometimes your idea will be successful and sometimes it will not. But you have to be okay with the nots because those are going to give you all the answers for your next one. Don't let it discourage you.
Thank you. May I ask you one more question?
Sure.
What do you do when you feel duplicated? Yet, like your idea is being used in another performance?
I feel very upset, usually. You know, if it's done in a way that I didn't know about it, and so if it's done in a way that I feel like someone stole my idea, then I'm upset. But I'm very happy to share otherwise. Sometimes I've had people come to me and go, I like your idea, can I try to use it but mold it a little bit differently? I think that's nice. I think you need to be open and flexible to share. But when people steal it, I think it's very disrespectful. And I do hope for everyone here that if that ever happens to you, that you will confront that person and say, this is wrong. You should put my name and credit me. It was my idea. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's quite a similar question, but sometimes it's nothing new. So you're so excited about your new idea, and then already done. You didn't know that.
Yes.
What do you?
Well, then you stop and you go, well, that's already been done. Let me think about something else. You know, nothing is original anymore these days, right? Yeah. I think, and I've said this to my peers at Cirque du Soleil, we're always trying to do something new. We're trying so hard. And what if we get saturated? What if the world gets saturated with everything and nothing is new anymore? I think it's okay then to go back. Let's go back to how we started. I hear audiences of Cirque du Soleil say, I wish we could see a show the way it was 33 years ago. And this is really inspiring again. How can we go back to something we did 33 years ago and innovate it in a new way? So But it's a very good point. It's hard
Yeah.
to stay original.
That's why we stick to original messages, core messages. That's
Yes.
really important, touching like human interaction
Yeah.
thing. So, thanks for your like talk and
you.
presentation, and thanks for audience for listening to us. Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. 감사합니다. You got your water. Okay.